All right, welcome to the well. Maria from Bloom and Angela from Grounded Dreamers for the week of August 21st. So today, let's pause first and find your breath. Just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, grow roots down into the earth, grounding, presencing, and find something you're grateful for. Just anchor that gratitude for yourself. We're going to move into a really powerful reading this week about building your world, journeying to possibilities. So let's go.
Okay.
Woohoo.
We're talking about actively creating that next level, that next thing, that achievement that you want to reach. And it's building your world. And this is the bee priestess. So I don't know if you can really tell here, but she's behind this sort of like tent that she's in. There's honeycomb. It's really hard to see here, but all this like golden, all this is honeycomb. And when we take the snapshot of the pictures and it's in the email, you'll be able to zoom on it, but it's pretty cool. She's enveloped in it. And and she represents your creation. Create your world, and the productivity of it, the gathering of the other souls or help that you need, and the resources, and
pollinating.
Sure, right. Networking. It says here, creation, expansion, and networking. It's about that active, practical plan that you need to put together in order to create that next level, that next project, whatever it is you're wanting to manifest. Right after that, I pulled the outsider, which we know this is what pulls us back a lot. We feel separated from the achievement. We feel like we'll never get there. We don't belong. We're not worthy. They don't want me, right? It's all that negative, thinking small energy that's there. And we are also reminded that lock on the gate is not engaged. And all we really need to do is open it up and take a step.
And move forward.
One step toward it. And we don't have to create everything in a day, but we can take our first step, open up the gate. And then I got open up to change. So once we step through the gate, once we have our plan and take that first step, then it's time to let go of most of that grip that we find ourselves in when we're trying to execute a thought out plan. Many times, if we're so we have our blinders on and we're so focused on this is the only way I'm going to achieve this, we miss things. We miss other opportunities. We miss shortcuts sometimes because we're so focused. No, this is how I have to stay regimented on exactly what I planned. Well, yeah, the goal is still there, but if we want to create an easier path to get there, then opening up to change is our first step, because things happen, right? That thwart our plans or redirect us for a second. And if we move with that, usually, first of all, the experience and the journey will be easier if we're accepting of it. And then also there's times that we could be achieving bigger than we imagined if we're listening to the sign and welcoming in those signs. And then I got this card, the River of Blessings. That is releasing constraints. So if this is mental, financial thoughts of I don't have enough, emotional, I'm too, insert, adjective there to move on. I can't do it. Or physical, if it's like I can't do it alone, I need a group, or I am alone and I feel cut off, whatever. It's letting that stuff wash away, moving past those constraints, because a lot of those we manufacture ourselves and we're blocking ourselves. And then right next to releasing constraints, I got release control. So some of the constraints are of our own doing, right? Because we are, like we said earlier, we're trying so hard to stick to that plan, that one outline we've created. And there's some control issues in there, right? Without allowing for what the universe might have planned for you, or meeting a new person that can really elevate your project. Or, you know, if you're not looser with your relationship to control, then it could have you feeling stuck for a while. And then I got the Fool. So this is that. So, you know, we had release the constraints, clear your paths, move along the river of blessings, and, you know, clear your mind. And now you have a straight path going forward. Now you have this clear, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to take my first step that was, you know, brought by the outsider. Actually, these cards are right underneath. They were this way in the spread. So kind of cool how this is kind of reminding you, clear path, take your step, take a chance.
Take a chance, right?
Take a chance. And then
go inside.
Yeah. And then just because we always have to be reminded by the universe, patience. Take that step forward, but not, you know, don't rush it. One step at a time is fine. You're still going toward the goal. You're not being held back, but know in its time, it will manifest. It will come to fruition if you continue to work at it. You continue one step at a time. And then I got sacred action, and this is decisive focus.
Yeah.
So this is your, you know, focus on the options, on the choices, and then choose one, and then go toward that, and then find the next one, right? This is being more decisive and less dreamy about it. This is that objective action that you're ready to take to go toward your goals without hesitation.
Yeah, great. So let's go inside, pause. I invite you to close your eyes and just be with the question to yourself. What do you want to create? What are you building in your world? Just take a moment to imagine yourself like that child at the gate, knowing that lock is not locked, it's not engaged. All you have to do is open it and go in. Just allow yourself to open up to the changes that you are creating. And just imagine the river of blessings. Just imagine that river is flowing. And you are releasing, you're releasing constraints, and you're releasing control into that river. It's just flowing along its path. And with that energy, that open energy, that full energy, just allow yourself to move towards the changes, move into the changes. Be patient as you do that. I'm going to just take a moment to feel into what sacred action, what decisive action is being called for from your life this week. And let that emerge as an intention. And we're going to move into the second half of the reading. And take a moment to really anchor that intention that's coming through as we go into the reading for the next section of the reading. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, so the first card of the next spread is detoxify. So now you get a chance to go a little deeper into, you know, we release the constraints, we release the control, we're working on that, right? We're beginning to create flow
like the river.
In that way. Now we're finding, you know, maybe there's remnants of, you know, mental, emotional, physical, spiritual blockages or preconceived, you know, previous perceptions about how things should be and go. But this is in relation to your own self, your own being, and the power that is kind of probably lying dormant underneath some of these blockages. And we're called to clear that, you know, eat healthy, move your body, meditate more, connect with others, you know, let your feelings flow as they, you know, all those ways to create flow within your being, right? Which gives you a more powerful base, a more powerful vehicle to move forward in towards your goal. And then I got the beehive next to that. And this is the detoxification of sorts, but with your mental, with your anxieties, with that sort of background hum. Remember, we started with the bee priestess. Yes. So I love this is fitting that this is the card we pull. But that sort of background buzzing noise of anxiety in your mind and the thoughts and the worries. And this is a sort of a meditative practice to employ where you can take, any one of your worries, and maybe there's several, and imagine them as those bees. Mm-hmm. And they're buzzing around your head, and they're always, kind of making the noise. Mm-hmm. In your mind's eye, let that bee fly straight into the hive and out of your sight, out of your, out of your space, so that you don't hear it, you don't feel it, you don't have to focus on it anymore. One by one, let those things, buzz off, literally.
Buzz off. I love that.
So that's a practice that I think we can continue. We can do this every day, right? And it doesn't only have to pertain to this one thing we're trying to create. I mean, I could do this every day. That visual would really help. And then from the bee, we move to the hummingbird. And this is the card of energy. And more specifically, where are you focusing your energy? Mm-hmm. Because the hummingbird flaps around and has obvious energy, right? But is at the same time clearly laser focused on its task, which is to, drill its beak into that flower, right? As it's flooding around, right? So it's a matter of, for you, there's a lot going on. We always have a lot to juggle, but where are you sort of beelining your energy toward? What is that focus? And that relates back to our goal, right? Mm-hmm. Or building our world. And then from that, I love this too, I pulled projections. Mm-hmm. So this is, as I'm going about and hearing all this noise around me, some of that noise is others' expectations, right? What others think is best for us. And, oh, you're trying to achieve this? Oh, well, you should do it this way. This is the only way. Oh, that's all noise. That's all that beehive
buzz.
Noise.
It's all buzz.
All buzz, because the only one who really knows how you're going to go about achieving this is you. Between you and the divine, that's the alignment. That's the buzz that you want to focus on, right?
Yeah.
So keep in mind that, okay, others will have opinions, but I'm staying focused in my own container of what's best for me. And I'm going to move forward with that. Remember, my detoxified container too. Mm. And then we get another reminder, another nudge from the universe, because we pulled the ant, and that's collaborate. Right. So at the same time that you are quieting the voices of others, or quieting the expectation of society, or whatever it is that is making you feel out of alignment from your own purpose, regain that alignment, and also lean on others, work with others to get to your goal. This could also be spiritual vibration, being sure to collaborate with spirit, but also in your real world. Remember, I'm grounded dreamer. So this always will have a practical base from which to utilize your spirituality. We should always have both going on, right?
Yes.
This reminds us to utilize the help of others, but not the ones that are going to drag you off of your goal, off of your center, right? Stay powerful in what you know is right. And the ones that feel like they're going to drag you away from your center, lessen that, put them in the beehive, right? So it's a good little balancing act.
Or release them down that blessing river, the river of blessings.
Let them flow on down, because that's a constraint.
It's
a little bit like, walking on boulders. You know how you have like the big breakwaters in the ocean, and you got to like choose which one to go to, and there's a little balance every now and then. That's what it feels like this whole journey is. But that's what life is, right? There's unexpected, climbs and unexpected drops and time for you to pause and wait and plan your next boulder that you're going to step on. Right. Mm-hmm. So I love the fact that this reading came out without this straight line. Even though we had bees, we didn't take a beeline toward it, because we're human and we're living in this real world that has changes and twists and turns that we can navigate if we stay aligned within our container that whole time. So I like that. Then I got intensity. So at some point, right, it might get a little overwhelming. But what we said in the group too is there's a difference between receiving intense energy, like letting intense energy be in your space without it taking you down. Because sometimes when things get intense, we fold and it's, I can't do this, it's too much weight, right? Mm. There is like a moment, and it's early on, right? When something starts shifting like that and building up, you can make a decision to utilize that. You know how kind of like there's some martial arts that are blocking and fighting and pushing, but there is one, I think it's jujitsu, that takes the energy, like whatever action is coming towards you, you go with that. Like if someone's punching you, you take that and you roll with it, right? You
flow with it
down. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you're incorporating it into your movement. And that's exactly the difference of intensity there. You could use that as, being fired up and helping you propel forward instead of overwhelming you and taking you down, which I love. Mm-hmm. And so, of course, after it's intense, mm-hmm. we have to be reminded to get grounded, trust that all will be well. This is the new moon in Virgo. This is a perfect card for this journey, because this is the beginning. Mm-hmm. New moons are about beginnings and creation, but also reminding ourselves to stay grounded. Virgo is an earth energy, and staying grounded helps increase our trust, because that feeling of groundedness is the realization that we are safe, protected in this moment, and we're in control. That grounding is really important, and the more you can do that, the more that the trust is just kind of easily coming through for you. And then the final card is possibilities. Mm-hmm. And remember, this is that big picture. This is not focusing way down there in the field on what's going on down there. It's being that eagle and seeing the entire landscape and knowing, here's where my past led me. Here's where 3 different possibilities for my future. Yeah, I could take that easy road, or I could do this one that might be a little more fulfilled. All the possibilities start to show up when you're in that grounded, trusting mm-hmm. Space as you build. Yeah. And this whole reading has really began with, what do you want to create with building your world? And then it closes with, trust what you're creating and stay grounded as you're creating it. And the creator, the bee energy, I love all your bee metaphors. The bee energy is really that creating of sacred geometry. That's what bees do. They really create sacred geometry. And then the ants, how they network and work together and are really super grounded, right? They're so grounded. And then the bees are taking flight. And that's how we expand, detoxifying. So just invite everybody to take a moment to really return to your inner queen bee. Anchor in her energy, in her sacred energy, and align your own inner system. Just take one last breath as you inhale. Let your breath kind of engage with wherever you're feeling constraints in your system. And as you exhale, release them. And be patient with yourself. Be patient with the journey. And a couple of weeks ago, we did that challenge, dwell on what you love. So I want to remind folks as well, keep challenging yourself to dwell on what you love and be surprised by the possibilities, especially with the intensity of this reading, and the intensity card came through, right? Because you're building your world. Don't dwell on the worries. Don't dwell on the fears. I know it's easier said than done, but just keep practicing, presencing back to your inner sacred one, your higher self, your connection, all that is. And
Yeah. Have a beautiful week on that note.
Mm.